Joe fined me for my tow truck. So I towed their whole illegal operation to court. If you've never been fined for parking your own work truck in your own damn driveway, then count yourself lucky. Name's Marcus Cole, tow operator, veteran, business owner. I pull 12-hour shifts clearing wrecks off the side of highways so soccer moms can make it to practice without seeing a body bag. Not to be dramatic, but my truck saves lives, and Karen tried to write it off as an eyesore. Let me back up. I moved to Sycamore Ridge for the space, not the politics. I'd done city living, and after years in the Army and a messy divorce, I needed peace. Just me. My niece Layla, she's 10, sassier than a talk show host, and my truck Big Red. I bought a little 3-bedroom fixer-upper at the edge of the neighborhood. Quiet street, decent neighbors. At first, people waved. Layla rode her bike around. Big Red stayed parked in our own driveway every night. Nobody complained until Karen showed up. She knocked on my door 2 weeks after we moved in, holding a rolled-up paper and a big fake smile. "Hi, I'm Karen Withers, acting president of the HOA. Just wanted to welcome you and also give you a copy of our vehicle guidelines. We do ask that commercial vehicles, especially large ones, not be parked in public view." I blinked. "You mean my truck?" She glanced at it like it might bite her. "Well, it's, rather prominent. Don't you think, ma'am? It's a tow truck. It's my job." She giggled. Uncomfortable. "Right. But our community values aesthetics. And Big Red, it's just very industrial." I shut the door without another word. The next day, there was a fine notice taped to my mailbox, $250 for HOA violation, unauthorized commercial vehicle now. I've been disrespected before. I've been mistaken for security at my own company. But this was new. I marched down to her house that evening, papers in hand, knocked once. She opened, clearly surprised to see me. "This isn't legal," I said. "I checked the county records. Your HOA isn't even registered anymore." She crossed her arms. "It's pending. We're in reformation. It's a voluntary structure. Voluntary means I didn't sign up. You don't get to fine me. Oh, but you did agree by purchasing property here. It's in the deed covenants." I looked her straight in the eyes. "No, it's not. And you're about to find out just how deep I'll dig." She slammed the door. And I went to work. I'm not just a tow guy. I run my own company, Coal Recovery and Road Services. That means I know insurance, I know permits, and I know how to navigate local government bureaucracy faster than Karen can say non-compliance. I filed a formal complaint with the City Planning Department and Zoning Office. I requested public records. I requested copies of all registered HOA documents. Spoiler, there weren't any. Then I started talking to neighbors. The Nguyen family 2 doors down got fined $100 for having a camper in their driveway for 48 hours. Mr. Alvarez across the street got threatened with a lien over a garden shed that's been there for 15 years. A single mom named Jenna was told to take down her daughter's chalk art because it created visual disruption. Turns out, Karen had been running a fake HOA empire paper threats. No board votes, and unfiled bylaws printed from a 2009 HOA template she downloaded from a shady website. But her biggest mistake: she filed a report with the city against me claiming my tow truck was an unlicensed hazard and that I was operating a business from a residential property. So I invited the city inspector to my house. Nobody saw a fully registered, state-insured tow truck, no signs of repair work on site, a clean garage, proper zoning usage. He left impressed, told me I ran a cleaner operation than some towing yards. I asked if I could get that in writing. He laughed and did it. By now, Karen was fuming. She escalated the fine to $750 and mailed me a document threatening civil court. I framed it, not because I was scared, but because I knew what was coming next. I called in my lawyer, a quiet, middle-aged guy named Brent, who's about as threatening as a spoon, but knows how to destroy a fraudulent HOA in 5 pages or less. We filed a cease and desist against Karen, citing impersonation of a governing body harassment, and abusive process. We sent copies to everyone she'd ever find. And then I towed her car. Legally, she parked in front of my driveway one morning with a big handwritten sign on her windshield: commercial vehicle, blocked until compliance. I called the non-emergency line, had it documented, called in a tow, filmed the whole thing, and oh, it went viral. The clip was everywhere by sunset. Caption: HOA Karen tries to block tow truck guy. Gets towed instead. Justice tastes sweet. That was the moment it all unraveled. The video of me towing Karen's Lexus from in front of my driveway didn't just go viral, it detonated. By lunchtime the next day, I was getting texts from friends across the country. Some said it showed up on TikTok's For You page. Others tagged me on a Reddit thread called HOA Gets Owned Compilation Vol. 8. Even a local radio station ran a segment about it, calling it the most satisfying legal tow in recent history. But inside Sycamore Ridge, that's where the real change started. People came out of the woodwork, people who had quietly eaten Karen's fake fines for years. Mr. Alvarez, the man she threatened over a shed. Turns out she tried to charge him interest on his so-called violation when he pushed back. The Nguyens had paid over $1, $200 in community maintenance dues that were never accounted for. And Jenna Karen had posted a letter shaming her for letting her daughter draw on the sidewalk, calling it graffiti behavior. I knew then we had something bigger than me or Big Red. We had a pattern. That's when I filed for a neighborhood-wide Freedom of Information Act request and got city zoning and property records for every address in Sycamore Ridge. What I found confirmed what I suspected. There was no active HOA, no recorded board, no budget filings, no meeting minutes. Karen's HOA was a total fabrication. She'd been impersonating a governing body, printing fake citations, and pocketing the money in a bank account set up under Sycamore Community Aesthetic Council, a name that sounded official but wasn't registered anywhere. She used a P.O. box. No treasurer, no oversight. The entire thing was built on fear and pretty stationary. So I wrote up a summary report and delivered it along with the cease and desist order and a list of neighborhood testimonials to our city council rep, a woman named Miriam Tran. Miriam took one look at the evidence and said, "You want to go public with this?" I nodded. She gave me a date: Tuesday night, the next open council meeting, and a warning Karen's not going to go down quietly. Are you ready for that? I was. The night of the meeting, I wore my work boots and a black button-up. Layla came with me, holding my hand the whole time. The room was packed, over 60 people from the neighborhood, some holding Karen's fake citations, others with receipts of Venmo payments she demanded be sent as beautification dues. Karen sat near the front in a powder blue blazer, her arms crossed, lips pursed like a lemon had just walked in. Miriam called my name. I stepped up and started with one simple line. My name is Marcus Cole. I'm a licensed tow truck operator, and I'm here tonight because someone fined me for doing honest work in my own driveway, under a lie. I laid it all out. The illegal structure, the made-up rules, the misuse of authority. I handed over the city documents. I played a 90-second video montage of Karen's paper notices compared to legal HOA requirements. The room gasped, and then I showed the clip. The now famous one, Karen's Lexus getting hitched to my rig, her shouting from her porch, me handing the officer the paperwork, the truck rolling away, and the applause that followed deafening. Karen stood up and tried to object. This is a smear campaign. That truck is a hazard. I've maintained this neighborhood's integrity for years. Someone in the back shouted. You mean you stole from us for years? Another yelled. Where's my $1,000? Karen. The council president slammed the gavel. Enough, but it was too late. The crowd had turned. The silence that once shielded Karen had cracked into a roar. By the end of the meeting, the council announced the formation of an independent neighborhood audit. They encouraged anyone who paid Karen directly to submit copies of receipts for review. Karen walked out without saying a word. But her story didn't end there. The investigation found that she had collected nearly $1,800 in unauthorized fines and dues over a 2-year period, most of it from immigrants, single mothers, and elderly residents. She'd claimed to use the funds for upkeep, but the audit showed most of it went toward landscaping her own yard, spa appointments, and 2 separate Target runs totaling $100, mostly decor. The city filed civil charges. She settled out of court, paid restitution to 41 households, and vanished. Her house sold a month later, no farewell note, no apology, but Sycamore Ridge. That's when we really got to work. With Karen gone and the fraudulent HOA dissolved, the city offered us an opportunity to form a legitimate neighborhood association if we wanted. We held a vote, and for the first time in this community's history, people showed up in record numbers. Front yards turned into sign stations. Neighbors who hadn't spoken in years sat together on porches. I watched people who once hid behind curtains during HOA visits come out laughing, trading gardening tips, arguing about swing sets and dog parks. We created something real, the Sycamore Ridge Civic Committee. Elected members, transparent budgets, no power trips, just people looking out for one another. And yeah, they made me president. First thing I did, designated Marcus's driveway as a community-approved commercial vehicle space. Big Red even got a painted decal on the asphalt. Layla drew it herself, complete with a little hook and cartoon headlights. Second thing I did, made a motion that all fines and code notes must go through a public vote and formal due process. No more weaponized clipboards, no more silent punishments, no more fake rules. We didn't want revenge. We wanted restoration, and that's exactly what we built. Layla runs a lemonade stand now on weekends. Mr. Alvarez teaches woodworking classes in his garage. Jenna and her daughter cover the sidewalks with chalk murals that get featured on our community newsletter, Not Erased. The only tension left a few weeks back, a shiny white sedan was spotted idling just outside the entrance. No one could see inside through the tinted windows, but when it drove off, a single piece of paper was found tucked under the front gate sign. It read, "Your standards have clearly fallen. The truck still doesn't belong." No signature. But I didn't need one. I smiled, tore it in half, and walked back to my house where Big Red sat, polished and proud, with Layla's lemonade banner tied across the hood. The truth is, there will always be Karens. Always people who think rules matter more than people. That silence equals obedience. That titles make them important. But in Sycamore Ridge, we remember now, community isn't something you enforce. It's something you build. Call to action. Have you ever dealt with an HOA that went too far or made up their own rules? Should neighbors self-govern without HOAs? Or are they necessary in some places? And what happens when someone like Karen won't let go? Comment below. Let's talk power, community, and where the line should be drawn.